In this video, I'd like to show you 3 tips that will improve your paintings. The first tip I'd like to show you is drawing. What does drawing have to do with painting, you say? Well, let me tell you. First of all, drawing on your canvas before painting can help you establish your composition. Put all the shapes in all the right places, if you will. Have you ever painted a picture and wished that you put a tree in a different location? Or maybe you didn't put one in at all? By drawing your picture first, it will allow you to visually see what your painting is going to look like, or at least what you'd hope for it to look like. The more you develop these skills, the better your work will become. Enhanced details. Drawing can also help you add the details that would otherwise be extremely difficult with, say, the wet-on-wet style of painting. This is when you paint everything in one setting and the entire canvas is still wet long after you have finished. This process usually takes about a half hour to about 3 hours of continually painting with oil paints. There is absolutely nothing wrong with the wet-on-wet style. This technique has its benefits too. For me, I enjoy drawing with charcoal. You can use many forms of medium to draw on canvas. My choice is charcoal. For me, it's easy to work with, it's fast, and it allows for a simple yet effective grayscale. If you make a mistake, or simply just change your mind, charcoal is easy to erase. You can paint right over top of charcoal. Oil paints will absorb the charcoal and it will become part of the painting. If you want to make sure your drawing stays intact, then it will need to be sealed with a fixative. This is a very simple process as well. It's basically a clear spray that will give you a protective coat to your drawing and keep it from smudging. As you can see in this video, I'm drawing a bridge. This is the famous Bow Bridge located in Central Park, New York. As you can tell, it's got lots and lots of details. I didn't want to take any chances and just do like a wet-on-wet process. I wanted to capture as many details as I could. This is why I chose to use this particular method. This piece was a bit of a struggle. From the proportions to the angles, I had to work out a few things, and yeah, I went over it a few times. I applied the fixative, then I let it dry. Now I'm ready for the next step. The second tip is blocking in. Blocking in is nothing more than painting in the basic shapes with color. This process helps form structure, but also this is where your painting starts to look like a painting. Although you can block in with oil paints, I like to block in with acrylics. Acrylic paint is a great medium. It dries in minutes and can easily be modified as needed. You can easily paint over or alter a shape in as little as a few seconds. Oil paint is significantly more difficult to work with at this stage. Choosing the right colors and shades at this stage will help develop your painting. Of course, if you're painting a landscape, most trees, grass, shrubs will be in shades of green. However, the darks and lights will make a difference as well. This will help create depth in your painting. Typically, the background should be lighter than the foreground. This is sometimes referred to as atmospheric perspective. Another benefit of blocking in is it gives you an opportunity to experiment. You can easily try new things, because if you don't like it, all you have to do is paint over it. Since you're dealing with acrylic paint, since it dries so quick, it's easy to fix. You may also learn something new to help develop your style. After your acrylic paint has dried, you can still go back with charcoal and redefine your work if you want to, just by drawing more details. At this stage, you can also paint in shadows that will start to make your painting look more realistic. This is a great time to add even more details that maybe you weren't able to see before. This is not able to be done with oils. Oil paint would need to dry first. And now for the third tip, the final layer. This is where you put on your final coats of paint. Refine your work with accurate colors, shapes, and line details. Now that you have structure, color, proportions, and composition worked out from drawing and blocking in, a roadmap, if you will, this stage is much easier than if you were to start with a blank canvas. This is where I prefer to use oil paints. For me, oil paint is more vibrant and smoother. Also, oil paints tend to dry accurate to the way they were mixed, color intensity and shade. Acrylic paints tend to dry darker. Using acrylics for your last layer does make this process a bit more difficult to do if you're particular about specific colors and vibrancy. You can continue to use acrylic paints for this stage if you wish and still get a premium painting. This is just my personal choice. You can use oil over acrylic, just don't paint acrylic over oils. Acrylic paint won't adhere to oil paints. You can continue to refine your work as much as you like. I think I'm going to work on this one quite a bit more and add more detail and refinement. But for now, I think that's it for this video. Thank you very much for joining me, and don't forget to subscribe and click the bell. See you soon.